What is going on out there, man? He's making a serious phone call. Yeah, I gotta go back to the station to shit because I ate this fucking food and it's crazy. Put this bag in here. I can't even sleep. It's fucking. Alright, the party's jumping out here, man. Down there and get some. Go down there. It's nice. It's not cold. It's not that cold now. We gotta go take a grab before the day is over because of that shit we ate. Guys, they've been apprehended, right? That's looking crap. I'm still hungry. I mean, didn't really eat much because everything was poison. So, everything in there is second sandwich we got was poison as well. So, not a lot of food for Saturday. Not a lot of food for a Saturday, guys. Maybe not apprehended, guys. The white guy, the white guy can always deliver, man. More than any other guy. Well, that's what I always say. That's what I always say, guys. The white guy can always deliver more than any other guy. Maybe they got some good food down there. Maybe they brought something delicious. I doubt it. Go down there. I think it's probably too late now. It's cold. I'm go back to bed. That's a nice logo, man. So you see Joel just walking in The Last of Us from Kansas City to Wyoming. So you see, I was walking around Georgia for a little while before I left for New York, because you gotta be in a major city to find food anyway. Georgia is not really a place for homeless. It's not, the situation is not very accommodating in Georgia for homeless people. So you see, he's walking from Kansas in the movie. He's walking from Kansas City to Wyoming, which is a long way to walk. I mean, granted, anybody else would have drove around the city instead of trying to go through it. Obviously, knowing the situation that you can have in the city, anybody else would have not have attempted to drive through the city if he knew. I mean, obviously, because it was dangerous. You got to have a movie, so You gotta have a movie, so he drove to the city and lost the car. Lost the car, so what? I mean, I think that little girl, Ellie, is probably also Princess Anne. Looks like Princess Anne a lot. Asian as well. Asian as well, and you know, it's pushing the limits of what a white girl is. See, that's usually the start. You know, like I said before, the next white guy is going to be Rich Rebuilds because it's related to William. If Prince William is Rich Rebuilds, well, Rich Rebuilds is going to be the next fucking white guy. And that white girl in The Last of Us is going to be the next white girl. I mean, it probably already is in America. I mean, I don't know. And, you know, that's the, like I said, that's the slippery slope that we're on. Understand? That's the next white woman. And Ellie is probably Princess Anne and very Asian. That Ellie superstar they got in that one, probably related to Pablo. What's his name? Pablo. I don't know, Pablo. I forgot the last name. Escobar? Pablo Escobar? Maybe that's the last name. I don't remember. You see, that's, you gotta understand, that's the slippery slope that you're on by hosting this Marxist party in white countries. Even in Europe. Understand, it's happening at an accelerated rate. And that white girl in the movie, in the series, is going to be the next white woman. Entirely Asian. Very Asian, right? You know, looks like Greta Thunberg, right? Well, yeah, that's with this Marxist screw around, that's going to be the next white woman. You know, it's this guy can invent, you know, like I said, this guy is very creative when it comes to the definition of white people. Like I said, we're clearly defined. You know, white people never have a problem defining themselves. But make no mistake, with this Marxist motherfucker around, the next white woman is that white girl in the movie, in the series, and she's Asian, entirely Asian, you know, 50% Asian, whatever she is. Understand? That's where this is headed. You know, this, you know, I don't know where this, you know, like I said, this crew is has a very loose definition for white. So much so that I don't even fit in it. You know, they have a very very loose definition for white, even though we don't fit in it. Me and my brother, believe it or not, do not fit in this definition that they have for white people, even though it's a very loose definition, a very encompassing definition of mixed race albinos, Asians, and Asian/white, and this Prussian extract that they have going on, this Ashkenazi extract that they have going on. You know, they have a very loose definition for white people, but me and my brother, even, you know, who are actually white men in the flesh, do not fit this definition with this crew. Understand? You know who does? Ellie does. Ellie fits the definition of a white woman. That's your next white woman, and she's Asian.
I said, you say woman.
Now, I don't have anything against the girl. I don't have anything against the girl. I don't know her. You know, she can exist just as much as anybody else. And especially in America. Anybody can be an American. Understand? Anybody can be an American, including Ellie. And with this crew around, that's the next white woman. Understand? That's their definition of white. It's a very loose definition, and she's half Asian, very likely. Understand? Now, even though it's they have, like I said, they have a very loose definition for white. And believe it or not, me and my brother do not fit this definition. Yeah, because they do. Yeah, they do. So, wow, the party's jumping off in here, man. Throwing out, across the bridge. There's too many folks in here. Might be going across the bridge. Because there's too many folks in here tonight. So you see, that's where this is headed. Now this they're saying this woke crowd is somehow they made it seem like they are underrepresented in Hollywood or movies or media. You're overrepresented. Looking at those gifts, you can actually say that diversity in media in Hollywood and movies and news is overrepresented. None of them are white. You see, but they make it seem like, the woke crowd is saying that they're underrepresented, something is never fair enough. They got this system of nagging. They always nag the fuck out of you whenever they present themselves. If you notice in the last 100 years, especially in media, they will nag the living shit out of you, quite literally. Understand? About being woke and injustice and racism and fucking SJW shit that they talk about, transgender shit and gay shit and colored people shit all the fucking time. They will literally nag the life out of you. Understand? And they'll be like, we're being underrepresented in the media. You're overrepresented. Yeah, from what I found, it fucking looks like everybody's being overrepresented. Quite literally. But that's the complaint system, it's a nagging system that they set up for themselves. It's not diverse, it's not gay enough, it's not transgender enough, it's not colored people enough, or something like that. And it's from what you can see in those gifts, they are overrepresented. That's what you see, right? That's what you see. Now, to make the, to maintain the illusion of white people on TV, they'd be like, oh, Ellie is white. That's, to maintain the illusion. To maintain the illusion of white media and white Hollywood in a white country, they'd be like, oh, Ellie is white. Ellie is not white. Ellie is definitely not white, but that, that's how they maintain the illusion. They'd be like, oh, Ryan Reynolds is super white. Maybe Matt Damon is super white as well. Also Asian. Maybe Keanu Reeves is the next white guy. Another Asian guy. Maybe Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt, big one. Maybe that one can be the next white guy. Counts as a white guy, definitely Asian. Maybe, Tom Cruise, big one. Tom Cruise. Whiter than a lot of them, I would say. Yeah, whiter than a lot of them. They got down fucking around with... They got down in Scientology to make white people look bad. Like I said, that's what that Scientology stuff is for. To make white people look bad. The overwhelming majority of them are probably white people looking. So you see, that's the idea is they remain overrepresented by complaining that they're underrepresented, right? Oh, it's not gay enough, it's not fucking colored people enough, and it's not transgender enough. Some kind of injustice or something, so they gotta be representing the injustice, the people that are suffering injustices. You see, they maintain the monopoly by being overrepresented, by complaining that they're underrepresented. It's a system of nagging. Yeah, they will literally nag the fucking, the fuck out of you. Quite literally. There's a lot of folks in here, Holmes. What's the occasion? What's the occasion with all these folks in here, man? There's nothing going on in this square. There's no concert that I know of. So that's what, that's really what's going on. It's a system of nagging. It's a way to maintain control. It's a way to maintain control over a very large industry, a $1 trillion industry, simply by nagging. Underrepresentation, injustice, people of color, gay people, transgender people, something is there's some kind of injustice going on. It's a system of nagging where they remain overrepresented because they constantly fucking nag. Yeah, so like I said, that Ellie girl will be the next white woman. And they have a very loose definition for white people. And believe it or not, me and my brother do not fit it. Yeah. Let's go ahead and make our way across the bridge, because this city is full of people. I don't even know what the fuck. What's the occasion, man? I don't see anything going on. I don't see anything going on. What's the occasion? Across the bridge. It's very far. Let's stop and see if they brought any food. Wow. It's gonna take a while to get there. Let's go see if they got anything worthwhile down here. If they don't, we gotta go all the way across the bridge. Start. Yeah, and that girl, Ellie, in the movie is also probably Soul's Instinct. Like I said, it's always this Asian fella that comes up over and over and over again. Our superstar Pablo, whatever his name, that guy's name. What's his name? Pablo, whatever. I got two is Asian, right? Related to that senator who is also Soul's Instinct, another Asian, and Stalin as well. You see, it's always that Asian superstar over and over and over again. You see, it's like I said, there's probably some vegan shit down here. Let's go ahead and grab something before I shit myself. But you know, it's it is what it is. You know, it's the enduring relationship of the West and the East. And their excuse for doing what they did is that they didn't know white people existed, and they lost track of white leadership. They lost track of us. And one of their chaotic fucking wars that they declared over Europe, and their excuse for doing all of this is they didn't know where we were, and they didn't know white people existed, and that's the excuse as to why everybody in America is Asian now. Now, you can either believe that, which I obviously do not believe, or you can believe that they're all traitors. Which do you believe? Now, the money. There's a lot of money in it. So now, which do you believe? Do you believe their story, or do you believe that they're lying and they're probably all traitors? I don't know. That's for you to decide. Make your own decision. Yeah, some vegan shit. It's like some kind of vegan stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't press it. People are hungry, man. They're over here waiting for this vegan shit.
Did you get the Liberties vouchers last week? Did you not one?
No.
The vouchers from Liberties, they were given 7 o'clock.
I'll do him anyway.
Yeah, these folks are hungry, man. Usually this vegan shit is not very attractive, but apparently they stayed out here for it. Yeah, it looks like they stayed out here for it because, you know, usually they don't, it's not that good. Shoelaces came undone. So, like I said, that's the overall word. The overall, they got the good hamburger, they got the good hot dogs. What they got over here, man? Christian Fellowship. Let's see what they have. They got the good hot dogs for us. Might be an hour before they're ready though. First. Let's go across the bridge. It might take a while before they do anything for us. I don't know if they have any food. So, you know, that was kind of their unofficial reply as to what is going on. Oh, you know, we didn't know the white folks existed. We kind of lost track of them in a chaotic fucking war. And because we didn't know where the white people were and we lost track of them, we did this instead. You can believe that, or you can believe that they took the money, the army put someone else in charge that kind of looked like white people, because they have money. The golden horde of Genghis Khan had lots of money, so they put them in charge because they kind of look like fucking white people. And that's officially, kind of unofficially, what they said. We didn't know about you guys over there, and because we didn't know, we did this instead. You can either believe that, what they say, or you can believe that they're all traitors. Yeah. Now, what is more likely? Is it more likely that the Golden Horde had lots of money and they just put someone else in charge that kind of looked like fucking white people? Probably. Probably it's what they did. Probably it's what happened. I mean, it's, like I said, white people, generally speaking, always have a huge issue with traitors. A huge problem with leaks. A traitor against white people counts more than a traitor for any other race. Because it affects white people more than any other race when you have someone that's willing to betray the white race, white people. It cuts deeper. It's more lasting. It has a lasting effect if you have a traitor willing to sell out white people. It lasts longer. It's a greater effect. It has a greater impact on white people, and that's exactly what happened. It's not what they say. You know, that's what they say, but it's a good excuse. It's a good excuse. It sounds good, but you know, that's exactly what happened. You had a traitor somewhere that kind of did it all. You know, set everything in motion, and it has a lasting effect, as you can see. You know, it has a lasting effect for white people, unlike any other race. And you know, it's generally, yeah, like I said, in the third world. You know, you see it in Mexico, you see it in South America, you see it in Africa, you see it in South Africa, you see it in Asia. They have corruption even more than in some cases even more than the West does, or they are an equal. They have an equal amount of corruption between the West and the East, or South America and North America. Understand? But in their case, it doesn't really matter too much. They have a lower standard of living as a result. But you know, it doesn't matter if you have corruption in the third world. That's how they work. That's how they operate. Understand? You know, it works for them. It works for them. You know, it doesn't matter. Over here in the West, it matters more. It matters more when you're white. Yeah, it cuts deeper. It has a lasting effect on white people. On white people. You know, the third world has corruption already. It's very corrupt. That's how they operate. You understand? You see it in Mexico, you see it in South America, you see it in Africa, you see it in Asia, you see it in the third world in general. You know, they have a high level of corruption. In those places, it doesn't matter. It matters when they bring it here. You know, it matters when they bring it here. You know, for whites, it has a lasting effect, like I said. You know, if you look at Mexico and the Mexican police with the drug cartels, it affects a lot of Mexicans, for sure. But it's, imagine if you had that here, which is what it's, you know, what it's eventually going to amount to. You know, imagine if you had what goes on in Mexico right now with the drug cartels and the police in the West. Can you say that at this rate, the West will amount to something like Mexico? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's, you know, it's in places, in places that where whites lose footing, like in North America, for example. You know, in North America, where whites lose footing all over the South America, the South of America, it becomes permanent, right? It's you look at Russia, you look at South Africa. Granted, that's not even Europe. You look at South America. You know, that was settled by the Spaniards or the French or whatever they had in there. You see that this anti-white vitriol that you hear becomes permanent. You know, in places where whites lose footing, it becomes permanent. So, what is the future then? Well, you have a Mexican future where you see the drug cartels working with the police, or you see the level of corruption in Mexico with the police. That's what you see. That's where this is headed. For the sake of some animal-looking hominid that they found in the woods in Africa, that's where this is headed. Understand? You can, like I said, you can buy into their excuse that they didn't know white people existed, they didn't know where we were, or they lost track of us in a war, yada yada. You can buy that, or you can just simply believe that the Golden Horde had lots of money and they simply bought their way in and gave you some fake-looking white people to look at on TV. That's what happened instead. Yeah, that's what always happens. Yeah, but you can buy their story that says that, oh, they lost track of white people, they didn't know white people existed, and they lost track of us. Yes. And they did this instead. You can believe that story, or you can believe the likely story that the Golden Horde had lots of money and they bought their way in and they gave you some fake white people to look at. Yeah, that's what happened. So, it's it's the likely scenario. It happens every time in Europe. It happens every time in North America. It happens, it's more likely to happen in places that are settled by Europeans outside of Europe. It's standard, pretty standard. So, it's, like I said, the future white woman is someone that looks like Ellie. It's, I don't know what the hell happened with these folks, but they seem to have lost track of their estrogen supply, because a lot of these dudes, they look very butch to me. They start looking more and more like men. Either the supply of estrogen is running dry, or something else is happening, because like I said, they look worse. They look worse by the day. When you look at those gifts, when you look at those gifts and you see what they're doing, and you see what they come up with, it looks like they're losing the estrogen supply to keep that Y chromosome in check. Understand? Because they just look worse and worse and worse. It just looks worse and worse and worse, and they look more ugly and ugly. They get uglier and uglier and uglier. I mean, what the hell? It's starting to look like someone is cutting off the estrogen supply, because they look more and more like men. If you look at Camilla, for example, it looks like a dude, a very ugly dude. Yeah, it looks like a dude. What happened to your estrogen supply? Did you run dry, or what the hell? It's pretty bad. I mean, they look at some of them are very hideous to look at. The fuck is that? It looks like something gross in the back. What's the occasion for all these people being in here, Holmes? I haven't seen any concerts besides these street performers and shit. karaoke motherfuckers. I haven't seen anything going on. Besides these karaoke motherfuckers, I haven't seen anything going on in the city. Like I said, the this is too much walking right now. Oh, shit. See, this Yenta was came up with some kind of justified lynching system. A lynching system for white people just because white people are not white or something. Who else is a comic supposed to lynch besides white people? You see, it's like a lynching in progress because they stole a bag. Yeah, it's a lynching in progress because they stole a bag, and before the bag they have no explanation whatsoever. Now keep in mind, if your explanation before the bag is not satisfactory enough, then that means I get to lynch your ass instead. That's how it works. In the ideal world, if your explanation is not valid enough before the bag as to what the fuck is going on, then I get to lynch you instead. Yeah, ideally, that's how it works. It should work that way. It should. In theory, it should work that way. It's a nice theory, but we'll see. We'll see, won't we?
Toilets, anybody?
From a very transactional basis, I know that when they're going to have it for 18 months or whatever. So, might as well back it up.
Like a urine. Eyes are burning.
Burning?
He got really bad as well. We really wanted to like.
It's like a marshland. piss all over the floor.
Y claro, capaz pensaste, uy, debe ser el destino.
Empty, yeah?
Very warm. What the hell? It's good, man. Never been being cold, man. It's very fucking warm out here, man. Very, very good. Which is a good thing. Let's go see if we can get some good hot dogs. It's interesting too that Solzhenitsyn would have been an Orthodox Christian, right? I mean, for him to go into that gulag he would have had to have been an Orthodox Christian, meaning that he at least went to church. And he has a lot of Catholic relatives. It's for some Russian Orthodox Christian. Solzhenitsyn has a lot of Catholic
What we think is hard?
relatives, guys.
It was just
That fella is like I said, this religion is not very serious these days. You know, you see Jews that aren't Catholic, you see this Christian Orthodox Mongolian fella Solzhenitsyn, but he was serious in World War II. For the sake of World War II, religion was very serious because the Jews are being persecuted because of their religion. Are they really? But you see, these days, anybody can be Catholic, anybody can be Christian. Solzhenitsyn, the Mongolian fellow, is also Orthodox Christian Russian. See, for the sake of the war, religion was very serious in World War II. Not so serious these days, is it? Now keep in mind, you based the entire fucking war and 500,000 plus on religion. And these days it's not so serious, is it? Forget about it. Yeah, we can just forget about it. Yeah. So you see, for the sake of the war, the Jews and the Judaism was very serious. These days, not so much. These Jews are Catholic. Solzhenitsyn, a Mongolian, Russian, Chinese fellow, was, Christian Orthodox. These days, he's got a lot of Catholic relatives. And now it doesn't matter. Keep in mind, World War II was a big deal. 500 plus thousand. Yeah, from the Allied side.
It was a love group.
Went to war over some kind of religious, because the Germans were, the Germans were religious bigots. Yeah. No, it's not a big deal. Imagine that. Imagine that. Go to war over religion, because the Judaism, the Jews are being persecuted because of their religion. Are they really? I see these days it's not such a big deal.
Why have sex?
Anybody can be Catholic Jewish, anybody can be Christian Jewish. There's anything a Mongolian, Chinese, Russian fella was Orthodox Christian. Whatever. See? A waste of time. What does that tell you about the reason for World War II? A waste of time. A waste of lives, the resources. Imagine the effort that was World War II. A waste of fucking time, wasn't it? Yeah. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. See? I said, the Jews are being persecuted because of their religion. They are they really? These days you find out that they're Catholics, they're Christian, they're over here, they go to Westminster Abbey or whatever the fuck it is, and They're Jews in the Catholic Church, and they're Jews in a Christian church, and whatever the fuck. It doesn't even matter anymore. Yeah, you based your war on religion, and now you find out that, yeah, whatever the fuck. It's all a mishmash in there. Whatever. Yeah, see? 500,000 plus.
Yeah, see if there's any going on.
500,000 plus. Most of them, I would say probably 90% of them, would have been on my side. Yeah, German or not German, white or not white, whatever the fuck we are in this Marxist network of lunatics. 90% of them, 90% of those 500,000 that died would have been on my side anyway. Yeah, that's why they're dead.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
And think about it. Solzhenitsyn, a Chinese, Russian, Mongolian fella who was Christian Orthodox. Turns out that he has a lot of Catholic relatives.
They come around
Yeah. Yeah. I think it was the chips.
We chose the wrong. No, the unit is good from that side, not from
I think it was the chips, man. The chips got something. Yeah, let's go see if they got any some hot dogs.
Or free activities that you can do.
There's a place around the corner, Japanese like street food place. Yeah, that's certainly the right time.
venga, foto, ¿no?
You know, like I said, they are alluding to the idea that keep in mind, women today with equality and women's suffrage and all that shit are still underrepresented in police, military, and government. And this crew would very much like to push the idea that one of these boys is seemingly capable of eluding and circumventing their national security apparatus. They're capable of manipulating their national security apparatus. Now, keep in mind, they're underrepresented in the army, government, and police. Because women don't really join the army, police, and government, parliament, or Congress. But this crew would very much like to give the impression that one of these women was capable of circumventing the entire national security apparatus, and becoming almighty and powerful over some bag and some DNA. Apparently, if you get a bag and some DNA from this white guy, you too can become all powerful. Now keep in mind, like I said, even today, they're underrepresented in military, police, and government. It's mostly dudes, right? These dudes that are women. Like I said, do you believe it? Do you believe what they say, that it might be one of these castrated boys that became all powerful, the most powerful being on the planet because they stole a bag and some DNA? Or do you believe my story? Do you believe my take on the story, that they're underrepresented in military, government, and police, and they couldn't have done what they did? There you go. Is it a diversion? We got to think in that way as well. Are the castrated boys a diversion entirely? Remember, they're underrepresented in police, government, and military anyway. Yeah, there's no female generals that I know of, unless it's the transgender ones that they got in the US DOD recently. I haven't seen many generals that are Army generals that are these castrated boys. Is it a diversion, what they're trying to suggest to me? Probably, very likely. Yeah, they're still underrepresented in the Army, military, and police because they're women's. Those women's don't join. Anyway. They got some good food for us.